Welcome back to another episode of Me and My Motor, hosted by Motormia. And today we have Kent here.
Hi,
How you doing, Kent?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. So tell us just a little bit about your car.
So this is my 2021 Mark V Supra. It is the 3.0, but it's the base model, not the premium.
Okay. All right. So Kent, thanks for coming today. So tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I'm an automotive content creator first. That's kind of my favorite thing that I do.
Okay. So where can we find you?
Kent and Cars on Instagram right
Okay.
now. And then I do social media management and stuff like that for local businesses around here. But mostly, I'm just a car guy.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. So tell us then, you're a car guy. How did you first get into cars?
So I think most people kind of get into cars because they have like a friend or a dad or uncle or something. But for me, it was like initially when I was getting into cars, it didn't really happen till later because when I was searching for my first car, I had like a budget and I was looking online to see like what cars I could buy. And I realized, oh, there's like kind of cool cars that you could get, but I wanted to learn about them a little bit more. And that kind of sparked my inspiration. And from there, I just started watching a bunch of YouTube videos and
Okay.
just delved deep into it. And then I made some friends that were into cars as well. And that was kind of my first start to actually getting into cars.
Okay. Okay. And so like, how old were you when you said you got into it later, right? So you weren't a kid.
Yeah,
So
I mean, still kind of a kid, but I was like about 15, I would say,
got it.
give or
Okay.
take.
And you mentioned like you had some friends who were already kind of into cars. So did they kind of help guide you and mentor you? You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so they helped me a little bit because I really didn't know anything at
Hmm.
all at the start, but we were all kind of just like flailing. We had no
Okay.
idea very much about cars. Like my friend had a Subaru Impreza, and instead of getting an exhaust, we just cut the muffler with a like a
Oh,
chainsaw.
geez.
So
Okay. Really backyard mechanics, huh?
yeah, so it was like
Backyard tuner.
we all didn't know very much, but it's kind of the internet and my friends were in a way my mentor. I would
Got it.
say the internet gave me like the education, but the experience was with my friends, right?
Got it. And so you mentioned a ton of YouTube videos. What other places did you go to try and find information?
I would definitely deep dive on the forums and everything like that
Yeah.
when I was trying to get cars. I think you just type in the name of the car and then you just scroll until you find about modifications or
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
like that. So definitely that, and then just other social media platforms. Instagram was still like kind of weak or early at the moment, so there wasn't much quality content on there. It's a lot better now, but I would
Right.
definitely just watch all the videos that I could on that platform too.
Got it. Awesome. Awesome. And then so since then you got into it, you're kind of you and your friends, as you said, flailing around. You're just consuming content online to try and figure shit out. But I mean, this passion of yours has grown as you've gotten older into something a lot bigger. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. So now I've been doing automotive content for roughly, I guess, the last 5 years.
Okay.
And before then, I was running like automotive Instagram pages. So I
Hmm.
would just grow like repost pages that
Yeah.
post videos of Subaru specific ones or like funny specific ones or car
Yeah.
specific ones. And I would just run different pages of that. And then I had my own personal brand a little bit after that. Once I started getting into actually nicer cars on my own, when I had like my M4 was first when I started actually really posting on social media.
Hmm.
And then I had a decent social media following with that, and I would just go to a bunch of car meets. And I just thought that it was like so cool that it was a big community and
Yeah.
that you could be involved in so much stuff with that. So I started hosting my first car meets with that as well. And then I started working with automotive brands through social media as well. And that was kind of when it came culminated into like being something that was actually a big part of my life where I was doing my own social media and going to the car meets constantly and working with brands and everything like that. And that was a big part of my life. And then I took a break from that
Hmm.
for a year and I worked with a production company doing social media management for them and helping out with video work and stuff like that. And we were still doing automotive content with them, but it was
Hmm.
just rare. It was more businesses and stuff like that. And then now I started my current social media, Kent and Cars, at about the beginning of this year.
Okay.
And then I've kind of tried to make this more based around my own personality
Okay.
rather than just exclusively the cars. But it's kind of more my interests, my opinions on cars and stuff like that. And then also now I have my own Cars and Coffee event, and I'm starting to work with brands and do stuff like that as well.
Okay. And so for those people out there who are going to kind of go out and find you on Instagram, just describe maybe in a few words like what is your own style? You said it's more my style. What is Kent's
So
style?
I make a variety of content. Part
Hmm.
of it is comedy skits. It's kind of
Okay.
just my own comedy that I think is like funny little videos about the Supra and just other cars like that. And then I do opinions, which are usually my opinions on like supercars and stuff like that. And then I'll do videos at car meets that are kind of just a mix of my personality and just showing the stuff at meets. So it's kind of a good variety of stuff, but
Okay.
it's all kind of culminating around my own personality and opinions on cars.
Got it. Got it. Okay, great. So, um, take us back a bit. So, tell us about, the first car you had that you modded. You told me your friend took a chainsaw to his WRX,
Impreza.
which makes me want to cry. But tell us about. Hope you didn't do it to your car, but tell me about
No.
like the first car you modded and like first all that. But like when you did that mod and you took it for a spin, that feeling of like of that mod, however inconsequential it ended up being, right? But tell us about a little bit about that.
So my first actual car was a 2011 Audi A5 convertible,
Okay.
and that was kind of a car that my family like wanted to share, and that's why I ended up in that car. But then it got totaled, and I always wanted a sports car. I was looking for Subaru WRXs, and I
Hmm.
lived in Colorado, which is like home of the
They're
WRX.
everywhere there.
Yeah,
They give you one when you move there. Actually,
yeah.
for every family they give you a
But if
Subaru.
you're born there, you got to earn it yourself, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so after that car got not quite totaled, but it was pretty much totaled through that accident, I was finally able to like look at a sports car and get a car that I wanted.
Hmm.
And then I got a 2018 Subaru WRX STI Limited with the recaro seats, which was awesome.
Nice.
They were comfortable and they were nice. Um, and that car was the first car that was my first actual sports car and the first car I modified.
Mhm.
So that car I just did a muffler delete on, and then I had the Cobb tune,
Okay, yep, that's sport.
and I got a digital like what a digital tune. So like a map that was sent to
Yeah.
me by somebody for Pops and Bangs, and that was the first mod that was like super big for me because when I would watch videos of that, I always thought it was so cool hearing the Pops and Bangs. And I always used to watch videos of like the Pops and Bangs, and then I would watch a video of like a Lamborghini Huracan, which had like just come out at the time with their Pops and Bangs, and I was like, oh, that sounds just like a Lamborghini. So when I finally got that installed, the Pops and Bangs tune with the muffler delete, I would just drive around my neighborhood constantly, and I would just let off and go pop 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 pop, and it was like the best day of my life at the time because it was so fun. And even though it was like a four cylinder, and now I'm like, okay, a four cylinder doesn't sound anything like a Lamborghini
Yeah.
Huracan. At the time, I was like, sounds just like a
And I
Lamborghini.
bet your neighbors loved you going up and down the
Oh
street.
yeah, everybody in my neighborhood knew that I was Kent, the kid with the black WRX that was always popping and banging
Oh,
everywhere.
geez, that's funny. I actually owned the exact same make, model, and year,
It
but it
was a
was
great
silver.
car.
Silver, yeah. Yeah, it's not exactly the most comfortable, family kind of car.
It's
So
better than a lot of other stuff, though,
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
but yeah, great car. Love that car. Love Subarus. Great. So tell us a bit. You had the Subaru. You have this now. Any other cars you had over the years that you want to tell us about?
So yeah, this was my path. Is that I started out with the Audi A5,
Hmm.
then I had the WRX STI Limited, and then after that, I had that car for a couple of years. Then I moved to Arizona and I traded in that car on a 2015 or 16 BMW M4 convertible, the F83,
Okay.
and that was the first car that was like actually fast that I had because
Mhm.
I did a boot mod tune on it, and then you're over 400, near 500 wheel horsepower on
Yeah.
that car, so it was like actually fast. But I only had that car for like 2 or 3 months. And then I got a Gen 1 Audi R8 V10 convertible, which was like the craziest thing for me.
Yeah.
It was so insane because that was always a car I had dreamed of. And I wasn't expecting to have it even until like weeks before. I had no idea that I was going to end up in Audi R8.
Yeah.
And that car was awesome. I should not have sold it, but I saw a really cool wrapped R35 GTR that I
Hmm.
really wanted, so I traded in the Audi R8 on that, and then I had that GTR for a while. And at the same time that I had that GTR, later into having it, I bought a Volkswagen Golf R as a daily driver.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
was a manual one with it was a Mark 7 and it had like a short shifter on it and a whole bunch of mods. It was nearly 500 wheel on that one too, which
Oh,
was like
geez.
such a fun little car just to zip around. And then at the same time, I bought my 2013 Lamborghini Gallardo Final Edition. And then about 3 or 4 months after that, I traded in the Golf R for this Supra because I wanted a little bit better looking daily driver,
Okay.
essentially. And then both the GTR and the Gallardo were having a bunch of problems and just hemorrhaging money. So right now, I've had this one for a while as my main daily driver. And then recently, I just picked up a Corolla SE hatchback.
All right.